Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome to the Premier League football podcast that we have here on a Friday night. How is everybody doing? I hope you guys have had a good week. I am literally out of my lungs at the moment because today was my first day on the road and I struggled a little bit. So forgive me if I'm a little bit breathless. Drew, we missed you last week, man. Man City fan, what's going on? How's your week been, man?
No. What an awful podcast. I'm going to leave already.
You know what? It has been a great week. And I've just come to a realisation this week that Bernardo Silva is the second coming of Messi mixed in with Roy Keane. So I'm in a pretty good mood
Absolutely
at the moment.
Outrageous shout.
Neil, how's your week going, mate?
Week's been kind of going okay. It's been a bit surreal. I had to go to the hospital yesterday and get an injection in my eye. So watching the liquid actually go into the eye was a bit weird. But apart from that, wow. I'm great, mate.
You know what's funny? I'm currently looking into getting laser eye surgery because I'm really bad when it comes to sort of, I've got small Spock ears, as you know from school. A couple of the guys used to call me Spock at school because my ears bend over. So I don't do glasses very well. So I was actually looking into doing laser eye surgery. So, looking into it. But I need to talk to someone who's been through it. So that I haven't been through it
yet because I'm also considering doing that as well. But I'm having a few issues with my eyes at the moment. So I can't do anything until they're sorted.
Yeah, man. When you get to our age, guys, it's a different thing. What is going on, everybody, man? What is going on, everybody? Darren, how's your week going, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. What an awful time, mate.
You bastards. It's his second week here, and this is what he gets, man. Come on.
My boy's gone. But, we'll talk about that anyway. No, but other than that, can't complain.
Excellent. Pugless boy, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Doing good, mate. Doing good. How's your week been?
Yeah, pretty good. Just trying to get accustomed to the cold now. I'm not a winter person, so I don't do well with cold, damp, dark mornings.
Same here, mate. Same here.
Andy's back green again.
Yep.
The green man is back in effect. I wonder why it's going green now and it didn't go green before. I mean, I know green is envy, but this is taking it a bit too far. Andy, how you doing, mate?
I'm not quite sure what the problem is because everything is exactly the same as it was before. So I don't know why it's suddenly gone green.
Yeah, it's weird. So you're connecting on your phone or tablet?
My phone.
Right, that's weird. It's really weird. What I might do is it front-facing camera or it's front-facing, isn't it? Not rear-facing.
There we go. He's back again.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Yeah, I might try and change the resolution because depending on what phone you have, it could be 2 megapixel up to 5 megapixel, and you can actually change the resolution.
Mine's about 12 or 14 megapixel.
Yeah, but is that rear? I'm talking about the front-facing camera. It's normally less. Yeah, so it might be worth going in there and having a look to see if it's that's causing the issue. You never know, especially with the kids around. They mess around with your phone. Next thing you know, the damn thing ain't working properly. But guys, let's pull up the results from last week. Let's get right into it. Kuke is saying, what's going on, man? What's going on with you, Kuke?
Well, I'm rubbing my hands, right?
Yeah, I don't know why you're rubbing your hands, bro.
Were there any games? When it an international weekend?
That's what it is.
When it an international weekend last weekend?
No, we got battered last weekend. That's what happened.
Oh, man.
We got annihilated. So, guys, here's the results from last week, and I have to say, let's talk about it. Let's go from the top. Anybody shocked about Chelsea?
No, absolutely not.
No, they're on a roll at the moment. Well, they're on a really good roll. I'm hoping they kind of trip up, but it doesn't look like they're going to for now.
They got the Mighty Reds on Sunday.
Yeah, I think the question is how long has Brendan Rodgers got? Has he got Mikel Arteta long, which means that they're going to trust him to see it through? Or has he got Frank Lampard long, which means he'll probably be gone next week?
No, well, he's been there. He's been there.
They're not sacking him.
Nah, they put a lot of trust and faith in him, and they know that they're going to get bad results every now and then. It just happens to be now at this moment in time. But I suppose they're relatively safe where they are in the league. But I suppose if they start dropping towards the lower end of the league, then you might start hearing rumours, especially with the media, by going, call for his head, because it's always the media that starts it off first, right?
Leicester started last season like not particularly hot. Then they had that one result against City where they beat us 5-2, and then they started rolling out the results.
Yep.
I think Rodgers has got enough credit in the bank, quite honestly, to have this run go on for a couple games more before anyone really questions him.
It'll be the media
He's
that
done
will
a hell of a job
question
with that
first,
squad.
though.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
I don't see how anyone's questioning Rodgers. I mean, he's had 2 fifth-place finishes with Leicester, and in both seasons was a game away from qualifying for the Champions League in both seasons, and probably should have done. And he won the FA Cup last year. I mean, for a team in the first time in their history. I mean, for a team like Leicester,
got money in the bank there.
I mean, they'd be mad to get rid of Rodgers in my eyes, unless he loses the dressing room, and you can never see whether that's going to happen or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's done a lot better with Leicester than he did when he had his stint at Liverpool. 2 sevenths and a second.
Yeah, guys, keep going. I'm just putting the feed on Twitter, which I forgot to do because
to be fair though, Liverpool one should have been a first, but someone let it slip.
Should have been, but yeah, a bit like Ole at the wheel, right?
What have you got to come at me for?
No. Sorry. I should have said a bit like what Jamie Hara was saying last night, right?
Yeah.
So I actually had to go online and find coverage of what Jamie O'Hara was going on about. He was brilliant.
He was so funny, man. I
What did he?
I thought
He was like a little tubby cock. Yeah, he was a tubby Cockney Roy Keane. It was absolutely brilliant.
Oh dear.
So let's move on. Burnley, Crystal Palace, 3-3.
This was the strangest result of the week. 3-3. Burnley Palace.
But remember, I keep telling everybody how tough it is to go up there, and nobody cares really.
No, Burnley is tough.
Yeah, we're going to find out on Sunday.
Yeah, Turf Moor's a hell of a place to go up to and win. And I said to you guys last week, this was a bananas. I said this game and the Newcastle game was a banana skin game.
Yeah.
And it turns out Brentford couldn't win at Newcastle, but Crystal Palace couldn't win at Burnley. We're shooting through the results through here quickly, guys, because we got a lot to talk about in terms of Man United. The Brighton Aston Villa was a surprise result for me.
Yeah, same here as well. I actually thought that Brighton would have kind of steamed over them, but it looks as if they.
I said I thought Gerrard would win his first game.
Yep. And also, Andy, what did I say to you last week about Norwich? I said, wouldn't it be funny if they won 2 out of 2?
I predicted Norwich would win.
Yeah, I think we could smell that coming from a mile away. What is going on with Norwich right now and Dean Smith?
Change of manager, isn't it? Change of manager. The players are
He's
trying
got
to prove a point.
and Todd Cantwell back in the team for a start.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
I'm just sorry.
How Farker was leaving Gilmore and Cantwell out of the team when they're their 2 best midfielders is bizarre.
You never know what's gone on, do you, behind the scenes?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It sounds like, obviously a player of the
and then we've got Wolves, West Ham, haven't we? Got Wolves, West Ham after that.
That was the result of the weekend.
It's a good fixture there.
Wolves
surprise result there, really. Wolves, Wolves have done really well there.
Again, I did say it's going to be a tough game for West Ham. I thought it was going to be a draw, but I agree.
And Arsenal,
Yeah, God. All right, so let me take my legs on this one, guys. Obviously, youngest team in the league who was on a 10-game unbeaten run.
Look at it.
And I think that this was telling for these guys. What I was surprised with is how they started the game and how much they were in it after 40 minutes. I thought those guys were doing really, really well. Obviously, the goal was the goal. Couldn't do much about that. And then the second goal is where one of the young guys, Tavares, made a mistake.
Yeah.
and then they just paid for it, and it all came down. I know a lot of people are making a fuss about Mikel Arteta getting sucked in by Jurgen Klopp, G'ing up the cop and bringing the 12th man into it. There may be something of that to that extent, but at the end of the day, I like the fact that Mikel Arteta was sticking up for his guys and he showed a bit of mettle. Whether it worked for us or against us, it doesn't really matter. I mean, we were probably
It worked against you.
Yeah, we were 2-0 down at the time, so it's not like it's going to really mean anything.
Not when it all kicked off. It was 0-0.
Well, at the end of the day, look, I said in my video yesterday, and I said while we were covering the game on live match day commentary, that Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City are not our competition, so I don't expect us to beat teams like that. We're trying to get back into the top 6, into Europe. If we get top 4, that's a revelation. But these guys are not. They're not our rivals. So it is what it is, and we move on.
I kind of disagree with that.
That's fine. You're a Liverpool fan, so you can disagree.
No. I can't.
But for me, what's important is how we recover from this. Because they're young, we need to recover from it, and that means it's a big game tomorrow.
But the thing is, though, you guys have got a young team, right? And the fact that they went 10 games unbeaten, that says a lot. Yeah, that says a lot, and they've done really well up until now. No, I shouldn't be speaking for Arsenal, but it's just a blip, and I reckon that you guys will bounce back in the next few games anyway.
We should do against Newcastle because they're rubbish at the moment.
Newcastle are the biggest bananas, mind you. Yeah, I'm not going to say nothing.
Come on, let's be honest.
No. Come on.
Yeah, I'm not.
Guys, what you guys need to understand is that the bottom 4 teams are going to be the most difficult teams to beat at this moment in time, because we're not halfway through the season. They're thinking, if we don't get our first, second, third win, we're definitely going to get relegated. And they normally. Sorry?
What about the top 3? You said the bottom 4 would be the most difficult. I kind of have to say, well, hang on a second. Are they going to be more difficult than the top 3?
Do you know? It depends, because the thing is, everybody starts taking them lightly. Yeah. And when you take teams like that for granted, they will turn you over. Yeah, right? Liverpool normally have a problem with teams at the bottom. Yeah, teams they should be spanking, they don't spank.
But all that is endeavour. Those teams are going to play with heart, guts, determination. Whereas the teams at the top, they'll slice and dice you with class and skill, technique. That's what this game is about.
That's an assumption.
Liverpool didn't overrun Arsenal with power and determination. They just had,
they took their chances.
Surgical
basically.
precision.
Yeah, they took their chances. But the bottom line is, what you got to look at is the bottom teams are tricky teams to play. Yeah, yes, they do get spanked by 1 or 2 of the top teams every now and then. But when you look at the other teams playing them below those top teams, it's just as difficult.
Yeah,
I mean,
the last thing,
they're bottom teams because they're bottom teams. They're not bottom teams because they're hard grafting teams and they should be mid-table. They're bottom teams because
I'm not saying that they should be mid-table, but I'm saying you watch, they will get results. I mean, look at the Brentford last week with Newcastle.
Well, forget Brentford for now. Look at Norwich. Norwich had 2 points after 10 games. They were on course to score the lowest points total in Premier League history, and now they're off the bottom. And the next win will take them out of the relegation zone. And they're a team right now that I don't think anybody would want to play, Tony.
You can't take these teams because they're at the bottom. Doesn't mean that you take them for granted or expect teams to spank them, because that's not always going to happen. And, the teams that get beaten by them are the teams that get caught out because they think these guys are at the bottom, they're going to play crap against us, and then they end up winning.
Kuke says, I don't think our prospects don't look good with Xhaka coming back. Please don't do that. Please. No. So, guys, Andy, I see you grinning there and saying nothing, seeing your rivals getting spanked 4-0. Are you sipping a wine, or do you have a martini shaken but not stirred in front of you right now?
The name is Bond, Andy Bond. I know. I mean, if you remember, I said last week I thought you were going to get done, and because you had a 10-game unbeaten run, and all credit to you for doing that, but you didn't play anyone in that 10 games. And as soon as you played someone decent, you got spanked. So I'm not crowing because awful as well at the moment. I mean, we scraped to a 2-1 victory over Leeds last Sunday, but I'm not crowing
I hate
about
to
it.
say it though, Liverpool are a team. Wow, they are like a force, mate.
There's not
They're
enough.
as good as
Unfortunately, we've only got great. The first team is great, and the guys on the bench aren't that brilliant. So as soon as we start
Come
getting
on,
injured,
Neil.
no, but as soon as we
on.
get
Neil,
injuries,
Neil's
as soon as
Mr.
we
Modest
get
today,
injuries,
man.
yeah.
Neil, stop it. Behave yourself.
You've got
Neil's
what's
Mr.
your
Modest
bench
today.
then? What's your
Yeah,
bench?
I mean, come on, you
We've
guys
got players like Origi. Come on,
5
man.
strikers.
Yeah, but who else?
Any
Keep going. There's
captain.
more than that.
Yeah, Jota's supposed to be a bench
Jota.
player. Firmino was
You've got Kunde. Is it Kunde?
Minamino.
Canute, that's it.
Yeah,
He's
Minamino,
your sub. He's your sub defender.
Minamino, I'm not impressed with Minamino at all.
Tomiskas is a
No, he's pretty good. But that's when Andy Robertson isn't doing that well, and it's
Gomez?
very.
What about
So
Gomez?
Gomez,
your argument
yeah,
that you've
Milner.
only got a first 11 is complete tosh-wash. Loads of players.
Compared to City, we're not as great. You know, we haven't got as.
Don't be bringing us into this.
Yeah,
guys.
don't compare them to the team that don't spend money.
We spent way too long bashing Arsenal for my liking. So Man City 3, Everton 0.
Boring City win. Move on.
Drew, talk to me about this
I
one,
mean,
mate.
to be honest, Darren's kind of right. Man City have managed to make 3-0 look like a boring result
It's
against
just boring
Everton.
now.
Yeah,
There was one great piece of play from Cancelo though, who, quite frankly, I'd say he's probably the best left back in the Premiership at the moment. And that's even ahead of Andy Robertson, who I think is genuinely brilliant, even if he does play for Liverpool.
That Cancelo is different class.
Yeah, I mean, you could literally stick him anywhere on the field and he'd do a job.
It was weird because he started the season really, really well. And was it last season? He started, then he went out, and then he ran out of the team for a bit. And I was thinking, where the hell's he? He was class, but I don't know what happened to him.
Pep seemed to get this whole kind of like Pellegrini OCD about you've got to have a left-footed player on the left-hand side, and we started playing Zinchenko from the start every game.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to bash Zinchenko because I think he actually played quite well against PSG the other night, but if your options are Cancelo or Zinchenko, who the fucking hell is picking Zinchenko ahead of Cancelo?
The best thing Zinchenko does is he sort of looks like De Bruyne at times. You think, it's De Bruyne there on the ball, and you're like, oh shit, no, it ain't. It's actually Zinchenko.
Yeah, if I got my
He's just a
glasses
little
on,
slimmer.
I'm half expecting a quality pass, and then in the end, it's it's up in the rows. So
I think some of these guys do go through dips in form, though. I think Cancelo did have a dip in form last season, and I think that's when he kind of got replaced for a little while. But yeah, I mean,
he picked up a red card. Trying to think who it was against. Guys, it was just after we were on that massive run of games. He picked up a red card mid-April, and then Zinchenko just started every game after then. So it was one of those things. Pep didn't want to mess with the system once he got everyone settled in, which I kind of understand that. But if
there weren't another 80 million fullback on the market at the time, so he just stuck with.
Bloody hell! We say this, and you spent 35 million on Flathead.
Oh dear. Joking.
So Andy, it's been a tough week with obviously the loss in Europe. Spurs announcing a loss of 80 million. That's nothing to be. You know, Arsenal's lost 86 million in the last 2 seasons. So we've gone year-on-year deficit. Obviously, we know COVID's a big part of that, and having fans back in the stadium is a blessing for these teams. But it's been a tough week for you. I don't think the European result was anything. It was basically a B team out there for Conte, and they let him down. But Leeds, good win against Leeds at home.
Yeah, I mean, we were terrible in the first half. And we were fortunate that we were only 1 down, really. But he obviously gave him a rocket at half time. But I think some of the comments he made afterwards, I couldn't understand the way we were playing in the first half. It was almost like we were playing on defensively and on the counter-attack in the first half. And I'm like, we're playing Leeds at home. Why are we defending? couldn't really understand what was going
But that
on.
hasn't that been your style for the last two managers? So it must be difficult to get out of that system.
It wasn't expected to be the style under Conte.
Yeah, but he's only been there a week, isn't he?
Yeah, but his comments afterwards made it clear what happened. He clearly doesn't believe, and I think this is probably true of both Mourinho and Nuno. He thinks that over the last 2 years, our squad isn't anywhere near fit enough. And that was borne out by all the running stats in the first 10 games of the season that we were right down near the bottom of the league. And we've gone from being the fittest team in the league under Pochettino to being the unfittest team in the league under Mourinho and Nuno. And he's come in, and I don't think he thinks we can run for 90 minutes. So I think he said, they were deliberately playing within themselves in the first half, but then we were getting done by Leeds all the time. At half time, he said, literally, now go out there and have a go. So I think he feels that at the moment they can really only really put a pressing style or running style for 45, 60 minutes. And that's
what are you doing, Apollo? Don't show that. Don't show that.
Hold on.
We should blast up a Man United that every so often now, just for shits and gigs.
Isn't the rhetoric, though, of every new manager, this team isn't fit enough? Isn't every manager come in and say, this team isn't fit enough? What? So Mourinho didn't get them running? Like, I don't know. It's one of those. It was an Asian squad. It was an Asian squad that's
Mourinho's got a history. His teams do not run in the same way as other teams do, because Mourinho
sit back in a formation.
He sits back and he waits.
So they're playing like United then, yeah?
Oh, mate, I'm going to leave.
So if you press high like the Ranić teams and the Klopp teams and those sort of teams, that eventually you run out of steam. And Mourinho wants his players to be alert to catch people on the counter-attack. And so he doesn't concentrate so much on their fitness levels, more on their concentration levels. And some people have criticised that over the years, that sometimes you find Mourinho's sides are not as fit as some of the other sides.
Yeah, maybe.
They don't run, they're too busy parking the bus, Mourinho sides, aren't they?
Well,
worst 2 years of my life.
They've been very successful. But he
worst 2 years of my life.
Having their focus and their concentration and not being knackered in order to be able to take advantage of an opportunity when it arises. That's what Mourinho works his whole team ethic about, is being able to spot an opportunity and pounce upon it. That's how Mourinho operates his systems. And he's
a cup manager now.
Until the last decade.
So speaking of Mourinho, our topic now, main topic for today really, is Man United. Mourinho, as we see here, he won 69 games. Well, he played 69 games, won 45 of those, had a 65.2 win ratio. Van Gaal was even better. Darren, give me your thoughts here. What went wrong with Solskjaer?
Hang about that. This has to only be the Premiership, right? Because Solskjaer has the third best win ratio out of all the managers in entirety.
This was basically you can see here based on home win rates.
Oh, right, okay.
Since Fergie.
Right. Yeah. So your question was, what happened to Solskjaer?
Yeah, because I think at the beginning of last season, I said to everybody, Arteta, Frank Lampard, and Solskjaer are the guys on the board, and if they don't get it right, three of them are probably going to lose out. It happened with Frank. It didn't happen with Arteta because obviously they have a 3-year plan and they're going to stick with it, and you've got to respect that with Arsenal. But I thought that if Solskjaer was going to go, it would have been at some time around when Frank went. But they decided to stay with him. What happened in your opinion?
So, like I said to you, I think last week, what Solskjaer did for us, where he picked it up, it was, and Spurs fans will relate to this, it was absolutely dire. The squad was dire. The feeling around the ground was dire. The manager was Mourinho was horrendous. I'm
glad you asked me that. Let me get rid of this and put the next one up.
So he picked up an awful situation, and he's come in. And if you'd have said to me, right, what's your checklist of what you want from the next manager? Get rid of the deadwood, get rid of the awful squad that we'd collated under Mourinho, under Moyes, under Van Gaal, and replace it with really good players. And some have eventually failed. Like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I just don't think is technically good enough to be in a team that's going to challenge for the title.
I told Tony that years ago. I said,
yeah,
Tony...
but you got to also appreciate where we were at as a club and the right backs available. Man United weren't actually a force in the top three, so the actual pool of right backs wasn't actually that large. We were 6th, 7th in the league, relying on our name, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka was actually a pretty decent right back in the league.
And it still isn't big.
It's logical. Huh?
The pool of right backs.
Yeah, it's not big, is it? It's not big. You're looking at a very minute group of players, and if you're Man City winning the league every year, yeah, if you're Manchester City winning the league every year, or Liverpool, you can say to a best right back in the world, "Come to us, we're going to win the league every year," and they're going to go, "Okay." Whereas Man United are like 6th, 7th, and 8th.
I'm just going to say though, are we saying Kyle Walker was at any point the best right back in the world? Because Kyle Walker's never been the best right back in the world, but you spent 50 million, the same amount on Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah,
Different
I mean,
times,
but again,
though.
different times. But what all I'm saying is,
it is different times. But
So what,
also, 80 million on Maguire's just. I find that offensive to other centre backs, quite
but
frankly.
he's actually. The thing is, he started the season quite badly, but he's come off the massive hangover from the, and that does affect players. And he has actually been on the main a pretty good centre back for us. Okay, maybe not 80 million, but I think Manchester United do overpay for players because they know where we're at. We're just desperate. At the time, we were desperate for centre backs, and other teams know that. And then you look again at the pool of players that are available to Manchester United. We're not in the top four. We're not winning leagues. So those top centre backs, unless you get them at the right time, which I know we got them at Varane this time, but like unless you get them at that right time, you are fishing in a very small pool. And Maguire was probably the best option out there, and they really got the most money from us because it's Manchester United, and they knew we had loads of money, and they knew he was the only option, so they ranked up a little bit. Anyway, so back to what I was saying, and goes to Solskjaer. I think Solskjaer was more a manager rather than a coach. So he came in and he got together a good ethos, got the fans back on side, brought in some decent players, good players, and started creating something. And signs were looking pretty good. Despite what people said, he was actually quite forceful in regards to people like Pogba. There was a time when he just bombed Pogba at the starting lineup, and that takes balls when he's your £400,000 a week centre midfielder. So he did have those grapefruits at times, but it became apparent. And I agree with everyone else. And that was my one concern with him, that the tactics weren't quite there. But I think maybe he would have been better being the manager with a top coach. And that's where he fell apart again. He had amateurs trying to, he had novices trying to.
So I'm going to look into this list. There was 400 million spent under his tenure, which is on this list.
Yeah, let's have a look at it.
I'm going to get you to deal or no deal on all of the players to let me know which ones you thought was good and which ones wasn't.
Yeah.
But there's a question here, Kuke saying, asking me who's the top 5 right backs in the world right now. I would say, me personally, number 1, Trent Alexander. Number 2, I'd say Cancelo. I'd say Cancelo is the best. Number 3, I'd say Hakimi, Inter Milan. I'd say he's the number. Then I'd say Kyle Walker, number 4.
He's not at Inter Milan. He's at Paris Saint-Germain.
He's gone. That's right. Yeah. And then number.
You can't put Trent at the top. Are you serious?
He's in and around. He's in and around.
Yeah. No, I'd put him at the top.
Can't even get in the England side.
Yeah, if you look at his assists, there's nobody in world football better at that position.
But
and then number 5,
but he's up against Kyle Walker.
Number 5, I would give Benjamin Pavard, guys.
You're putting Trent at 1 and Kyle Walker at 4. How does that work?
Oh, I didn't put him at 1. No,
I'm saying what Apollo's question Apollo's position.
Yeah, but that's Apollo's opinion. That's my top 5.
Call me old-fashioned, but I like right backs that can defend a little bit, which is why I'm not actually.
Who's your right back? Who top 5, Andy?
Cancelo would be in there for me. I mean, I know he's playing left back for City at the moment, but Cancelo would be in there. Walker would have to be there. I rate Trent, but I don't think he's as good defensively as he is going forward.
So you wouldn't put Pavard and Hakimi in there?
Who?
Pavard, you wouldn't Benjamin Pavard.
Yeah, Hakimi would be in there, and
Pavard's dropped off recently.
Pavard, no, I wouldn't have Pavard in there. I mean, Reece James at the top of his game.
Yeah, Reece James
is really on his.
But has he done enough? Yeah, it's early doors for Reece James.
It's early doors for him. That's why he made my top 10.
But what I'm saying is on current form.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a few, Brazilian and other sort of nationality right backs who we probably don't know as well as we do, the ones in the Premier League.
It's strange you haven't said Kieran Trippier though. Very strange. They won the title. They won the title last year. They won the title with him last year though.
Atletico, yeah.
Yeah. Shame. It's strange you haven't mentioned him.
Yeah, he really did well against Liverpool.
He's definitely top 10 in my opinion. So, Darren, let's do deal or no deal, shall we? Daniel James, Swansea, 15 million. Goodbye, bye bye.
It's a no deal, but again, you've got to put context around the signing. Again, we were 6th, 7th in the league. It's 15 million for a promising player, and 15 million is literally nothing. It's nothing. And if he comes good, then you've done a great signing there. If it doesn't, you've sold him on. What did you sell him on for? 5 million more. Yeah. So it's not bad, but it's a no deal because he wasn't that great.
Wan-Bissaka is a no deal.
He's a no deal.
Yep. Harry Maguire, 80 million.
It's just if we're going to go on this season alone, then you've got to say. But I think it's a deal because I think in the entirety of the time he's been there, he's actually been pretty decent. But
this season.
No, this season's been horrendous. This season he's been horrendous.
Him and Luke Shaw, been horrendous. Probably your worst players.
Yeah, he's the reason. He's part of the reason why Solskjaer got sacked. Him and Shaw. They've just started this season bad, very bad. And if you send it back and
you could say that about most of the England squad.
Yeah,
look at Kane at Spurs.
Yeah,
look at Chilwell struggled at the beginning at Chelsea. Then he came good, and now he's got injured.
Does that mean they're not going to win the World Cup next year, then, Andy?
Who?
England.
Anyway, who's next? Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno Fernandes.
Deal, of course.
What about Van der Beek?
He's definitely not Ollie's signing, 100%. But no deal. No, I don't think he's. Yeah, I know, but I don't think he's an Ollie signing personally. I think he's a board wanted to sign him. But anyway, it's a no deal.
No deal. What about Tellers?
I think it's a deal because it got Shaw playing better.
True.
And he's half decent as a backup. Cavani, unreal. Deal.
Cavani on the free? Yeah,
deal.
I think we'd all agree with
Pellistri, apparently, he's one of the next big things. So, I mean, the jury's out, but I guess you're going to... I don't know.
Listen, we're like that with Martinelli. He just can't get on the damn pitch. And I keep telling Andy, when I did the review with Andy, I did a review with Andy, Tottenham versus Arsenal, and I said to Andy, your best midfielder is Shit. Is it Skip?
Yeah. Shit. But either or.
No, he is. I think
I'm joking.
I think he's probably their best young player.
I haven't seen him play enough. I'm joking.
He's really, really top class. He is top class. And it's only now that he's starting to really get the game time. But who knows, under Conte, they might bring in somebody. The problem with the kids is you start spending money on players and the kids are the first ones to go. That's why I think under Arteta, the fact that he's going with them bookends in Smith Rowe and Saka and he's not having anything else, it kind of speaks volumes that he's built the team around them. I don't know whether that's going to happen with Spurs. I think they're just, Skip could be a victim of some new players coming in. I don't know. Andy?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say Skip is top class. I think he's decent and he'll do a job for you. But I think if we want to push on and challenge back in the Champions League again, then we need an upgrade on Skip. But, I'm not saying he won't be a decent player. I think he is. But I wouldn't go as far as say he's top class.
Well, a good eye, Andy. Remember, I told you like a year and a half ago, West Ham would shock the league, and what's happened since then? Darren Diallo, yeah.
Jury's out again. Again, he's supposed to be another upcoming player. Who knows? It's too early, and there's not been enough game time. He scored that great header in the Europa League, but apart from that, I don't know.
So the next two players count up 110 million of your 400 million. Sancho and Varane.
Sancho.
What on earth is going on here, mate?
I'm going to say deal on this one because he's 21 and we've got another 10 years out of him. And look at other players like Havertz and Werner, and these players need a bit of time just to. And I think they're now another manager with a better system. I think he will come good. And I think it's a good signing. It's a good signing.
I just want to let you know about our native Arsenal panelist, Bertram Spence, nicknamed Stan Kroenke. He was unhappy because Saka in 10 games had 2 goals, 2 assists, and Sancho has none in 10 games. No goals, no assists.
But he's in a side that's been absolutely. I mean, we've been all over the place. Like, you can't expect someone new at a club, new surroundings, to come into a mess and start and tear it up. It's hard. You know, if you join City or Liverpool, and you know, you think, well, why aren't you contributing to loads of goals? You're in a team that's free flowing, great football. Then you should be scoring goals. But Man United are just a joke. Have been a joke.
Varane,
yeah, deal. I think he's been very good when he's played, but again, the injuries have, you know, cost us really.
Because he's 29, isn't it? He's
29. His injury record's been poor. His injury record's been very poor recently. So it's a question on that signing, really. I mean, you have to sign Varane, but the injury record is poor.
You could have had David Luiz on the free. Cristiano Ronaldo.
He's got to be a deal, but I mean,
he saved your season, man.
But you say that. I think it went against the. I think Ollie had a way he wanted to go, and the board have just gone. We can't let Man City have Ronaldo. We want clicks and views and stuff. It's derailed. It's derailed what we were doing. We were doing well.
You didn't build a team around Ronaldo because you knew he was coming.
The only thing I'll say is our forward line other than that, I hated seeing Martial up top, and Cavani doesn't play every week. So if you don't sign him, who do you play? And I don't know. It's such a tough one. It really is. But I think it would have been better not signing him.
So the funny thing is, I said to Andy and Bertram and Drew in the summer, I said the biggest danger with Ronaldo coming in is that he does so well that the guys around him just think, oh God, we've got it easy now. We don't have to. He's doing everything. This job done. Let's just sit back and relax. And I said that to Andy and Drew and I think Tony, you was there. And it looks like that we're just not getting the effort from those players that we were getting last season.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't think they're getting the actual effort from Ronaldo at the moment either. Ronaldo doesn't track, doesn't press.
So hold on. Let's go around. So Darren's given his 2 cents about the 400 million that was spent. Let's go around the table and get everybody's views. Drew, start off with this list of 400 million pounds worth of players that just hasn't got the job done for him. What's your overall view on this?
Overall, there's several players there who, and I'm actually going to say it about Jayden Sancho as well. Jayden Sancho is not a £75 million player. I know Man City have just spent 100 million on Grealish, and I'll be honest, Grealish ain't a £100 million player. But Jayden Sancho, 73 million is a lot of money to spend on a player who is just potential. Because that's all Jayden Sancho is. He done really well in Germany. Don't get me wrong. He done really well in Germany. If I'm banging crosses in for Erling Haaland every week, I'm going to look amazing. Because
also, my fear was Mkhitaryan. You look at Mkhitaryan that season we bought him. I think he contributed to over 50 goals. You stuck him in the Premier League. Jesus, he couldn't even contribute to 5 goals, and that's what made me think: is that league really, where you should really base the barometer on players? Because if he can
It's like the PSG thing, isn't it? PSG are an incredibly fearful team if you look at their results and the goals that they score and everything like that. But then you look at the kind of teams that they're playing week in, week out, and we've done it for years with Spanish clubs as well. We've looked at Barcelona and Real Madrid, and all of a sudden we're realising they're not infallible anymore. They're weak. They're teams that aren't as strong as what we think they are, just because they'll clean up their domestic leagues. But I just don't get what everyone sees in Sancho. There's a reason that City let him go a few years ago, and I mean, part of it might be sour grapes. I hope the kid does well in his career, genuinely do. But out of that 400 million, though, what have United got back for that 400 million in the past few years? Is it 2 trophies?
Well, my answer to that is he's not Serge Gnabry, who has a Champions League medal. So he's definitely not Serge Gnabry.
Serge Gnabry was the biggest mistake that Arsenal ever made.
Yeah, he was. We got Tony Pulis to thank for that.
Do you not understand the context that I put behind the signings though? With like when people talk about Man United, and trust me, like I am as damning as any. I'm not like most Man United fans that swing either way. I try and think of it in context. Where we were at each of these signings, that's where I try and like paint a little bit more of a picture. Like we weren't top of the league buying Daniel James, we weren't top of the league buying Amram Ramsaka. We were 8th and 7th, and we were in the Europa League.
Oh no, I fully appreciate that.
When you look at the pool,
your most troubling signing, in my opinion, was the Ronaldo one, because it genuinely felt so knee jerk.
Yeah,
there's a chance he might go to City, and all of a sudden, I mean.
But you got to look at United last season, and they did really well.
Well
with a lot of these players, and because it was kind of built around Bruno Fernandes, and they were all doing what they were supposed to do, and they did really well. And then obviously, I think that when the window came around, there was a few knee-jerk reactions. I mean, Jayden Sancho, I still don't see why he's gone there. Rafael Varane, I get that because you guys needed someone at the back. Ronaldo is the one who's messed it up for the team, not individually, but the team.
Last week,
because the team were playing well before last season, and now Ronaldo's there. It's just like no one can get a look in edgeways.
What I can't believe is, and I'm not sure, I can't understand in my head, is how one of the best centre midfielders Man United have ever had, top 5 or top 10, whatever, Michael Carrick. And Solskjaer, who's played with some of the best centre midfielders we've ever played with, have not sat around a table and gone, we have to buy at least one centre midfielder. But is that a board thing? Have the board gone, we want Sancho because of X, Y, Z? You can't have the money. And then you've got to look at the pool of centre midfielders that would actually make us better. So, I mean, people are saying Rice. I don't know if I've seen enough about Rice to think he dictates a game. He's more like a Scott McTominay that is blood, guts and thunder, and he's a better Scott McTominay, but he's about the same.
So I'm so glad you added that last part then.
That's a really good
he's on the similar mould. He's on the similar mould.
That's a really
whereas
good question.
we need players that can dictate a game, that can get a pass. Like you've got, how many players have you got? You've got Bernardo Silva. You've had David Silva down the years. You've got De Bruyne. They can all take the ball in difficult scenarios, and you can just ping it to them back, and they just pass it around. But who have we got? We've got nothing. I can't believe
when they've sat around the table last season.
But that's why they did
I think he was. He was doing
Bruno
really well.
Fernandes is a moments player. Bruno Fernandes is a moments player. You give him the ball, and his instant thought is right outside of the right boot over the top, and he constantly loses the ball like that. Whereas De Bruyne and they play the simple passes, nice simple passes off the back four, break the lines, and then De Bruyne will play that ball that's like that left diagonal ball, that his favourite little ball there. So where have Man United sat down in those table conversations and gone, we need a Sancho over a centre midfielder? I just can't. I can't. You're hanging.
Neil. Before I come to you, Neil, I just want to address 2 points that he's had there. First of all, you're spot on. That has to come from the technical director in terms of what the team needs, and teams always have to have a spine. Good goalkeeper, 2 good centre backs, and a dominating centre midfield. Arteta at Arsenal was the first manager in 15 years who would put a spine in. We hadn't had a spine since Vieira, Gilberto, and Sol Campbell and whatnot. Yeah, it took Arteta to come in. He bought Ben White. He bought Gabriel. He bought
When you bought Partey, it killed me. I just looked at that signing and thought, how are Manchester United not all over a £40 million Partey? That is exactly what we need.
He'd come in for 2 minutes, and Arsenal hadn't had a spine in 15 years, and all of a sudden, bang, spine. And it was just like, where did that
But
come
is that
from?
because we've got business people running the club instead of football people?
I
Because
believe
they're thinking to themselves, Jayden
That's like that
Sancho.
with most
I
teams,
believe
though,
so.
isn't it? It's
Jayden
like that with
Sancho is
most teams.
a young, popular player who's going
How
to
old
get
is he
clicks.
now?
He's going
How
to
old is
Instagram
Sancho?
followers. He's going to get the lot.
How old is he?
21.
Bloody hell, he's young. Oh God, yeah. So I won't make the second point. The second point was we paid 72 million for Pepe, and he's got 26 goals and 18 assists in the last 2 seasons. Barely played any games. He's just productive every time you put him on the pitch, and he can't get a game for Arsenal for love or money. And all people do is moan about his price tag. So that's extreme there. Jayden Sancho, 73 million, can't get on the pitch. 10 games, no goals, no assists. All Pepe does is fill up the stat sheet, and he can't get on the damn pitch. So I feel your pain. You're singing to the choir, my friend. You're singing, and we can't get nothing out of Saka. Every time he plays for England, he scores. But in 10 games, we've got 2 goals, 2 assists out of him. And for me, I think he needs to be more productive.
That's not actually that bad. 4 goal contributions in 10 games. It's not that bad.
Smith Rowe in those 10 games, 5 goals, 2 assists. Smith Rowe is exactly what you want from a youngster, 20-year-old in the midfield.
Yeah, but Saka's very young. He's going to have good periods, bad periods. It's good. That's just natural. Like
I agree.
But you got to have good periods, and that's the problem. He's not having enough.
He's not having enough good periods. So let me go over to Neil. Neil, let me let you finish off with this list. Man United. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. So I mean, I've mainly said what I was going to say, but I mean, realistically, for me, when you look at where United finished last season, like second, right, and then you look at where they are this season, what has made them drop so low? Because the majority of the players are still the players that they're using at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes, you're having, obviously with Shaw and Maguire, they're just having a mare this season. But when you're talking about going forward and scoring, that sort of stuff, right, you're now relying on Ronaldo. I think that Ronaldo, even though it was a knee-jerk reaction, was probably your biggest mistake in buying him. I understand why, because obviously you didn't want City to get him. Nobody wanted City to get him, to be honest.
Truth be told, most of our City fans didn't want to get him either.
City fans wanted Harry Kane. What are you talking about?
Yeah. But the thing is that what you've got to look at is that the team wasn't built around Ronaldo, and that's why you're not getting the results that you think you should be getting with him in the team. Yeah, the team's not catered.
Also,
not catered to play for him.
When you look at Shaw and Maguire, though, that is our defence. If they play badly, you are left with Victor Lindelof and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So if your 2 supposedly best defenders are having absolute stinkers week in, week out as a manager, and then you're relying on Victor Lindelof and Aaron Wan-Bissaka to back you up.
You
might as well give up.
Cox, right?
You might as well give up.
Why did they pay 34 million for Varane?
Yeah, but what's that?
Why did they then pay 34 million for Varane?
Well, because he's proven quality, isn't he? I mean, and
I think he's more solid than, mind you.
But he's been injured. And so let's go. It's one of those, isn't it? Who else is available? That Man United can get?
Tony, Ronaldo costs just under 30 million. United got that money back in shirt sales in 48 hours.
Yeah, I mean,
it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to even say that. They shouldn't be saying that about signings.
I think this conversation is futile because people in glass houses shouldn't really throw stones. Yeah, every club makes bad signings. Even Man City, even I.
You can't get it right every time.
You look at Benjamin Mendy. You look at Claudio Bravo.
Whoa! Benjamin Mendy wasn't a bad signing. Benjamin Mendy's a fucking bad person.
You look at Maicon. You look at Javi Garcia. You look at Jack Rodwell. Yeah, you look at Jerome Boateng.
He's got a list of Man City players there, isn't he? He's got a list of bad Man City players.
I'm going to defend Jack Rodwell here. Jack Rodwell was not a lack of talent. Jack Rodwell was the most brutal set of injuries. I mean, a lot of those players, they were terrible. And I'll admit that. That's what happens, though, when you get money. You waste your money on everything, which Newcastle are about to find out.
That's what it boils down to. When you're a club like Man United and you can afford to spend, That's what you do. You go
Cool.
and say
As a-
on what you
as a
feel.
group of footballers,
Tony
though.
throwing haymakers.
Yeah, you go and
As a group of footballers, though, that's
Arsenal-
quite a good group of
Arsenal-
footballers there, right?
Arsenal are no better than what Man United have done. Arsenal
But you-
are 10 times worse in the transfer market than that group of players you just named. Yet we're sitting above you in the table right now. And Apollo is going, oh, look at this lovely young team of players that half of them came through the Hayland Academy.
Yeah,
but you
that's right.
didn't mention we spent 200 millions on a bunch of crap. And then we sold it for like 20 pence.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah?
We
So
brought in
when we talk
Willian.
about management of funds and recruiting, Arsenal are the worst.
We brought in Willian last
They're in a
season.
glass house
He
trying to
played in
sell them Man
17
United.
league games.
It's ludicrous.
Last season, Willian played in 17 league games and had one shot in 17 games. That's when you knew things were going bad. Let's go to Andy. Andy, what do you make of this list, mate? And
the point I was going to make is you've got to look at where it teams like United, how they operate, the teams at the very top level. You look at the Glazers, the reason they bought Ronaldo is because when they bought him, their share price rocketed within 48 hours. They then sold a whole batch of their shares and took out money from the club again.
They're leeches.
Right? They made a fortune on Ronaldo's sale. They then sold a whole lot of their shares, and they've made their money several times over on Ronaldo already. They've already banked it. So now, no matter what happens, as far as the Glazers are concerned, they did a great bit of business buying Ronaldo. The problem is throwing Ronaldo into the Man United side. The guy's a genius. He scores fantastic goals, winning goals in matches. You cannot knock it, right? His record is unsurpassable. Him and Messi are unsurpassable in terms of their record. But the fact is that has disrupted Man United's progress.
Exactly.
Because putting Ronaldo in the side...
It has,
What?
Tony.
What
Tony,
are you putting your head in your hands for, Tony?
Can I just say something?
It has.
The alternative to Cristiano Ronaldo was who? Was it Anthony Martial?
No, Cavani.
Cavani
And Rashford and Greenwood.
So,
Cavani, Rashford, Greenwood. You've stunted Greenwood's progress now.
Ronaldo. You could put all three of them players together. You ain't getting one Ronaldo.
No, but it's more about when the direction of the club. It's about the direction of the club.
Look at it. It's about how the team plays and how the team responds.
It doesn't matter because before he was there, they were shit.
We came second.
Hold on.
We came second.
They came second in the league.
We came second, mate.
They came second in the league.
They ain't that bad.
They didn't lead. They didn't lose badly to Liverpool. They didn't lose badly to Watford either last season, did they?
So
they had some good results last season.
I'm pretty sure they had more than 20% possession against Man City in 2 games last season as well.
Yeah.
But also just point out that it was only until 2 games ago, they'd gone 30 games unbeaten away from home.
Yeah.
That was under Solskjaer. 30 games away from home in the Premier League, unbeaten. That is some record.
I agree with that. So, guys, question at the bottom for each one of you. 6 options left for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So let's go through them and start with myself, really. Who do I think is going to replace him in those 6 options? Well, we know that Ranić obviously has been handed in as a temporary solution. But I personally think it could be... I think it's going to... Would Pooch leave his job, though? Would Pooch leave his job to manage Man United? I think he would.
Yeah. Apparently he's having a horrible time in France.
So I'm going to go for Pooch. Drew, you've got the conch, mate.
It's good. Right. I've actually got genuine logic for a change. Normally, my head's up my own ass when it comes to things like this, but I've got genuine logic. It will be Pochettino, and I'll tell you why. Yeah. You watching the game the other night between City and PSG. Pochettino does not seem to be enjoying the Parisian life whatsoever. He doesn't enjoy the histrionics of his players. He doesn't enjoy the way that his team plays, and I don't think he enjoys quite honestly, not having a huge challenge week in, week out. I think Pochettino wants more.
But that
And to
wasn't
be
a Poch
honest,
side, was it? It wasn't a style of
No.
play. There wasn't a Poch style of play. It was just basic. It could have been anyone managing that
The
side.
thing is, and
It's
this
ridiculous.
kind of goes back to what Andy was saying earlier, actually. Poch had the whole of the Spurs team as one of the fittest teams in the league a few years ago. He then goes over to France. He's now got three strikers who don't track back. They don't want to defend. It's just not the right team for him at the moment in PSG. They're a great collection of players, but that's what they are. Great players, but not a great team.
Neil,
And can I just say, I watched that game on Wednesday night. Lionel Messi is the laziest fucker I've ever seen.
Yeah,
He literally
he really
walked
is.
the entire game.
Honestly, if Messi had put in effort, then I think PSG could have got a result out of the game. They wouldn't have won it. City could have played better at times in that game going forward. They could have been more clinical.
Messi's getting paid now, man. He's getting paid.
He's terrible. He's terrible.
Neil, who's your pick, mate? Who's your pick of the bunch, Neil?
Oh, I'll tell you who I think it's going to be, and I'll tell you who I want it to be.
You want it to be Carrick.
Well, we all want Roy Keane. We all want Roy Keane.
Yes, everyone wants Roy Keane. I even want Roy Keane.
It's the man to kick. Roy Keane, especially when you watch how he commentates on them.
I want Roy Keane.
No one's going to
100%.
mess with him. They're going to do exactly what he wants, right? And they're going to move up the league. They're going to get better results under Roy Keane. But Keane's not going to do it. He's not. I don't see him taking the job. Yeah, Poch is the one who's going to. I reckon will take the job. Ragnick. I mean, it could be another situation where, just like Ole was an interim manager. He did well enough, and then he got given the position. Ragnick, that could still happen to him. Yeah, we're all assuming because of what the media are saying that it's going to be Poch. Yeah, but we haven't really heard from United, as in like who they think they would like to see there. We just hear what the media says. But I reckon. Sorry.
Go on.
No, I'll say. So I reckon it'll probably be Poch because he doesn't look happy at PSG, and he's probably one of the biggest names there. But do you know what? I'd like to see Keane there just to see him kick some arse, man. Serious arse. And sort those players out.
The one thing you've got now is United have got Rangnick till the end of the season.
Yeah.
Now, if any of you know about Rangnick's style, I mean, Klopp, Tuchel, and Hasenhüttl are all disciples of Rangnick's coaching school.
Yeah.
That he wants to play a high press. So how Ronaldo is going to fit into that system will be very interesting, or whether he's going to try and adapt the team to. But his style is that, if you like, the heavy metal style of football that Klopp plays. That's how Rangnick plays.
But
now,
to be honest,
very interested to see what he's going to do with the Ronaldo situation, because I can't see Ronaldo operating in that style.
Yeah, Ronaldo doesn't actually fit into the team, in my view. He shouldn't be there. United would have been doing better.
If you don't have Ronaldo in your team and not play him, because Ronaldo is going to win you football matches. So it's going to be.
And he's in disbelief.
Yeah, no, but when you do that,
Tony,
you build a team. You build a team around Ronaldo. United haven't had that opportunity. They already started building it around Fernandes, which is why they did so well last season in coming second. And then Ronaldo comes in and he messes that formula up totally. And that's the issue. I'm not saying that Ronaldo, he's one of the greatest players, but we're talking about a team of players, not an individual player. Yeah, Ronaldo adds his obviously his goals, and he's done well, but it's affected the rest of the team. Yeah, Ronaldo cannot win that league by himself. He needs the team to be behind him, and he needs to play that well. The team's not doing that.
The classic example, Tony, is Sergio Aguero, possibly one of the best finishers in the Premier League's ever seen. Pep turned around to him and said, you ain't getting in my starting 11 unless you work your ass off and you track those defenders. That is exactly what makes a good manager. Pick the right player, make the right player do the right things for the right team to win leagues. He can win. Ronaldo can win matches. He's going to win matches.
Yeah.
He's going to give us moments, and we're all going to love it, and it's going to be great and a feel factor. But we're not winning leagues with Ronaldo up top. We're not winning leagues.
Okay, let me put some common sense into this argument, because it appears like the whole world is gone against Cristiano Ronaldo because he's turned.
It's not going against him.
No, mate,
it's not going against him.
Mate,
I still think he's genuinely the
All right,
best.
hold on,
footballer
guys.
on the planet.
Let Tony finish his point.
Let me break this down for you. Cristiano Ronaldo has always been a maverick. It's not like he turned into a maverick overnight. He's been a maverick everywhere he's gone. He started out as a maverick at Man United. Do you remember the million stepovers?
Yeah.
Yeah? And everybody was like, oh, what is this kid doing? Yeah? Now, look at my man's trophy cabinet.
Yeah, Tony, I just want to make it.
Wait, let me hear me out. Let me talk to you about the European Championship final winning team.
Yeah, Portugal. I know, Tony. I think we're
team of nobodies.
Right, before we go off the rails, Tony,
as much as you don't think he's team player, I keep reverting back. You ain't got no one in there who's gonna do what he can do.
Yeah,
so
Tony, I think
manager. Your job is.
We're going off the rails a bit here, Tony. Tony, everybody agrees with you. I think what they're saying is what I said, which is now that he's there, the rest of the team don't want to work as hard. They're not playing as hard as they were last year. I think that's the point. I think that's
Ronaldo's fault.
No, it's not Ronaldo's
no, we never
fault.
said
it's
it
not
was
his fault. He's Tony.
Yeah,
he's a red.
Tony.
He's a red. He's a legend.
By yourself.
Yeah, it isn't his
I love
fault,
him.
Tony. It's that the
Tony,
team
I love him.
are just not playing because they have a star man in the team.
I love him. I love Ronaldo more than anyone.
Darren made a point about Pep Guardiola and Aguero, and that was what he did to Thierry Henry at Barcelona. He benched him.
Man United to Ronaldo because there's another 10 players who are playing shit right now.
Yeah, I'm not blaming him. I'm not blaming him.
Everybody agrees with you, Tony. We all agree.
We're not blaming him.
It's not his fault. It's the signing that's the problem.
Yeah, it's the mismatch.
It's the signing that threw everything off balance, not the actual player. I mean, obviously
Darren,
he's had to come in, but
Darren, you've got 6 guys there. Who's your pick?
I think it's going to be Poch, and the only caveat to that is if we start seeing all action Gangam, is it Gangam or what is it called? That pressing style and some real strong results and performances and a push up the league that says I want to be the manager by Rangnick. But at that side, it's Poch. I think they're going to go for Poch unless they see like maybe a Champions League semi-final or final or a real strong push up the league and a real style of play. But it's Poch for me. It's going to be Poch.
Yeah, the pressing style's called a rondo, which was started.
Is that for gang? Is it not Gangnam or
it's called
Gangnam press?
Yeah. It's definitely called a rondo, mate. It's called a rondo. So you don't want Zidane?
No.
Wow. Okay.
He wouldn't go there anyway.
For me, like I said last week, Poch ticks all the boxes. The football style, for Manchester United as the type of club we are, he's a good man. He's good in front of the press. He's good with young players as well. Man United are all about young players. We always have been, and he'll bring through young players. So I think Poch ticks all the boxes.
Tony, who's your pick?
Yeah, I kind of feel that Poch has got to get out of PSG because it's the most toxic club in the whole of Europe. Wow. You just kind of you can't manage those egos and be. Yeah. And
can I say though,
kind of common sense, your head's gonna explode. He's gonna end up fighting somebody on a pitch or something because he's got too much work on his hands to handle those egos, and it's just not gonna work. Before the end of this season, something's going to explode.
Can I say, though, I'd love to see Roy Keane. Because Man United are such a shambles.
Put him up.
Man United are such a shambles above the manager. We're nowhere near Liverpool and City. And I don't think we're going to be with businessmen running the club. So, to make it interesting and fun to watch, Keane. Just if I can get him in there and watch his press conferences. Imagine that. I'd love it.
It's not a
Imagine him,
serious
imagine him,
contender,
imagine
though,
him
is it?
talking about Fred after the game. Imagine him talking about Fred after the
He
game.
wouldn't
he
even wait
would
until after the game.
trash.
He'll actually
Oh,
walk
mate,
on
it'd be-
Honestly,
and tell him
Fred
straight.
will shit a brick. the
It'd be
minute
unreal.
Roy Keane walks.
He would do a Mourinho and throw all of his players under the bus. He wouldn't give a crap.
Yeah, it'd be unreal. It'd be unreal.
The
It'd be,
problem
at
is,
least
it
it'd
could
be fun
actually be
to
a
watch.
literal bus with Roy Keane.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
saying he's killed a man, but if there's anyone that has in football, it could be Roy Keane.
So
And for the
Andy,
banter, I wouldn't mind it.
So Andy, who's your pick?
But I think it's clear that United probably want Poch. Obviously, our wish as Spurs fans is that Poch comes back to us. But now we've got Conte, I doubt that's going to happen in the short term anyway. So I think there's every chance that Poch will go to United at the end of the season, if not before. Because, I mean, Poch is... Because there was talk that Poch might come back before we appointed Nuno. Because he's unhappy at PSG because he doesn't have any control of the signings. He is given he's basically just a coach at PSG.
So why didn't they take him when Nuno left? I'm confused because to me, looking at it on the outside, it seems like Man United and Spurs have both got their managers. I mean, Conte should be at United and Poch should be at Spurs. It just seems crazy that the both of them.
I suspect, despite things that got said in the media, I suspect Poch doesn't want to return to Tottenham at this time. He won't come out and say it because he loves the club, and I think he does see himself maybe coming back one day, but I don't think he wants to come back now. And
It's
so
like
he sees the
Levy.
same group of bad players.
That's Daniel.
But,
Levy,
no
isn't it?
offense, but he sees the same group of bad players.
He wants to go win a few trophies first, doesn't he?
I think he would like to come back.
Oh no, that's dirty.
Once the
Dirty.
stadium naming rights has been sorted out, once we've got rid of some of the dead wood, and he can come back to a more attractive setup, if you like. Right now, as Conte is proving, it's a shit show there at the moment. And so that I still think that it's not a million miles away. It needs a lot of work, but I still think it's that Conte can turn it around. But I think right now, Poch doesn't see that as where he wants to go. And I think Poch he's always had a good relationship with Ferguson. And I think Ferguson has identified several years ago that he wanted Poch at United. So I wouldn't be surprised if Poch ended up there.
All right, guys.
Whether United want him at the end of the season, we'll see. But
So we've only got 10 minutes left. So instead of going through every single game, I'm just going to go through each one of you to let me know what's your pick of the week. You can choose a couple of games that which we did kind of last week. For me, that Norwich Wolves game looks really tasty at home. The Delia Smith, come on, let's be having you. They're definitely going to be wanting them some Wolves.
Does she still drink though?
I hope not. Man City West Ham's going to be a cracking game, and obviously the big one, Chelsea Man United.
I'll be behind the sofa for that one.
That's going to be a big one. That's what I'm looking forward to watching. Drew, what's the pick of the week for you, mate?
Obviously, City West Ham. To be honest, though, it could be 5-0 or it could be a 1-1. To be honest, you don't know what West Ham's going to turn up. It is at home, so it should be a City win. I'm obviously going to be supporting Burnley against Spurs. Sorry, Andy, got to back my missus up on that one. But the best game, I think, will be Chelsea United. I think Chelsea are going to absolutely destroy them, but I think it'd be a good game to watch. So,
Drew,
Neil, what's
is
the
it
pick of the
actually
week,
is it
mate?
actually boring watching City?
I
I always used to find Barcelona was boring to watch because it was just too dominant. There was just like there's no
Do you know
jeopardy
what?
in the
This is-
game.
this is the
You
thing.
just play people off the park every game.
with the PSG game the other night, wasn't boring at all.
Oh no, that was unreal. Yeah.
With
But
the
that's-
Everton
yeah.
game, when we were at 79% possession with 10 minutes left to play, yeah.
I used to watch
That's-
Barcelona and think, yeah, these are amazing, but this is a boring game because the other team don't even have a chance.
It's
Like-
great. It's great to watch the technical ability of players.
Yeah, that's why I like Liverpool. I do
Yeah.
actually think watching Liverpool is brilliant because they're like there's a bit of jeopardy in there. The other team actually attack and have a chance,
thanks.
whereas
Cheers.
City just sort of.
I don't know how much
pass you to
jeopardy there
death.
is though when you come up against Virgil van Dijk. Quite honestly, I think Liverpool have always got the game under full control. They just give that illusion of there's a little bit less control, but you got defenders
they do
like
have
Van
the control,
Dijk,
but they switch off. A lot of the times they do switch off.
they do. But you've got Alisson to look after you most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who is the one keeper I still take ahead of Edison in the Premiership? He is an absolutely wonderful keeper.
Well, he's Brazil's #1, right?
At the moment, I'll take Aaron Ramsdale over all of them. Neil, who's the pick of the week?
Flash in the pan, the flash in the pan keeper.
I don't remember when Alisson and Edison got relegated twice in a row.
Right, my pick of the week. It's definitely going to be the City and the Chelsea games. My surprise of the week is probably going to be the Watford game. I reckon Watford will do it, Leicester.
Oh my! If that happens, he's gone. I don't care what any of you
No.
say. If he loses to Watford, he's gone, mate.
No, Watford are surprising. I mean, come on, man. They turned over United last week, which we didn't talk about today, did we?
Oh, really?
Can I just say, at the start of the season, we all actually said, in the first show we've done this season, we all said Watford
I'm being fair to
are a
Liverpool.
mid-table team. So I don't think Watford are, by any stretch of the imagination, like a team to get turned over by anyone at the moment. But
So
I
Leicester,
think he's safe though.
Yeah?
The reason why I keep having digs at United, obviously because of the rivalry, but then I am sick of the Arsenal Spurs banter. Yeah, we have to add to that.
I hate Liverpool as much as the next, but I give credit where credit's due, and you're a good
Come on,
side.
banter, man, banter. That's what these guys do.
I've got nothing to banter you with.
We've got the biggest rivalry. Come on, man.
the only rivalry bigger than Arsenal Spurs is Dallas versus Washington.
There we go.
And New York versus Philadelphia.
Here we go.
That is, when you're talking, listen,
Mate.
if you've ever been to a game before and seen opponents' shirts burning on the stick,
That's American bullshit.
Then come
It's
back
American
and talk to me
bullshit.
because that shit ain't happening in North London. I've been to
American
some of those
bullshit.
games, bro, and it is like a war zone. I remember going to Philadelphia Eagles and Veterans Stadium, watching them play the Raiders, and that was war. It was like civil war.
I think, Apollo, we have to accept, however much we love Arsenal and Spurs, that Liverpool Man United is the biggest rivalry.
That is the biggest rivalry. It is the biggest rivalry.
No, not for me,
Because you're
man.
looking at 2019 in titles and 6.
Sorry, how many in each? How many was that? What was it? 20 and not? Yeah. Sorry, I was just.
I remember at the turn of the century. I remember
20,
at the turn of the century,
yeah.
Arsenal and Man United going hammer and tongs for a decade, and it wasn't until Chelsea came in with a billionaire owner that all of that changed. Oh, that's my cousin. What's happening there?
That's me, buddy. That's me
Oh,
at the Dallas versus Washington game at the AT&T in 2018.
Oh, nice. It looks like my cousin.
The game
Nice,
that you
man.
just said.
Yeah.
There.
I see guys walking off the field with blood pouring down their chins. Man, I don't even want to go more into it, man, because that's what I call a war. That is a rivalry. When you see that, I remember when Arsenal played Man United, they had their unbeaten run and Van Nistelrooy hit the post and Martin Keown came down on him with his elbow and there was Pizzagate and everything was going on in the tunnels.
You're talking about blood, sweat, and tears.
That's
right?
what a rivalry is, mate. Yeah?
I'm talking about tears, especially on Sunday, the 24th of October, when Liverpool battered United. United had so many tears.
That's what I call a rivalry. These teams turning up and patting each other on the back and shaking hands. I don't call that a rivalry. That's
I think what does need to be pointed out, though, is Apollo supports Washington. Washington have a rivalry with Dallas. Both teams over the past 15 years are actually historically shite.
Yeah.
So
one game you look forward to on the calendar list, man.
It's American sports.
Yeah, this is why I'm incredibly happy. But obviously, I've got a New York game this weekend. It'd be lovely because my team ain't shit at the moment, so it's great.
Guys, I got to wrap this up soon.
We're finishing up here. Just who have we got left? We've got Neil. Have you given me your picks, Neil?
Yeah. I said
Yeah, he did.
the City West City. Oh God, who did I just say? Yeah, West Ham. I said that the shock would be the thing game, didn't I?
Yeah.
Sorry. When you get to mind, you forget what you're saying.
Leicester.
Watford, Leicester. That's the one. Yep.
Darren, what's your picks, mate, for this
I'm
weekend?
going to go Brighton, Leeds, and Southampton, Batter, and Liverpool. And that's it.
Brighton, Leeds would be interesting. Tony, Puglist boy, what's going to be on the dish for you this week? Where are you going?
Well, clearly Arsenal are the early morning kickoff tomorrow, and then I guess I've got a big game tomorrow with my Florida State Seminoles against Florida Gators. Your team, Apollo.
That's my team, man. The grudge match.
Yeah. So us two rivals are at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Sport free. So really, it's for Sunday games. So I'm definitely going to be watching City West Ham, and should be interested. Burnley against Tottenham. I'm hoping Burnley can do something.
Andy, what's your picks, mate?
Funnily enough, I'm interested in watching Arsenal Newcastle because Newcastle haven't won a game all season, and I think they can get something, if not a win, a draw at Arsenal tomorrow.
If Joe Willett goes there and scores, oh my God.
Obviously, also looking forward to Man City, West Ham and Chelsea United on Sunday. And obviously hoping that Spurs can get the 3 points against Burnley and keep the pressure on up there.
Okay, excellent, guys. So listen, that's it for today. Let's give it another week. That would be 13 games played. So we're already 30%. So we're third.
I'll be 14 because there's 3 games this week.
Oh my God! Oh wow! So we've
got all the midweek fixtures as well.
That's right. So we're going to be a third way through the season, over a third. So next Friday we can then see if our predictions for winning the league title has changed. I think mine's going to stay at Chelsea's. I'm not going to waver, but I can't wait to hear what you guys think. But outside of that, thank you very much for tonight, guys. Fun as always being with you guys. Enjoy the weekend.
Good one, guys.
The football.
Have a good one, gents.
There, guys.
Speak to you guys later, man. Peace.
Okay,
All right,
take care. Peace.